Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky, and this is coming to you from my home here in Cave Junction, Oregon. Tonight I should like to share with you a Facebook conversation that I had with Nigel Beckwith, an Englishman, concerning awareness and intellection, the miracle of balance. Nigel begins by saying that intellectual thought must be distinguished, though, for thought is positive, indoctrination is not. Teaching people to dogmatically repeat what the system wants them to repeat, and allowing them choices that they sanction, is what you might call intellectual thought. If that is the case, I would agree. My response to Nigel was thus: let us not categorize or subcategorize thought, and therefore get lost in the complications found therein. Look at thought very simply, for truth is simple. Thought is a partial, a dualistic, opposing medium operating within the superficial realm of consciousness, known as the intellect. Thought is absolutely necessary for us, for you and I, to communicate with ourselves and with others. It is also necessary to use when dealing with fictional fantasies, imaginings, and time-bound, after-moment, memory-based, mechanical thought problems. However, is it not seen that all such thought is partial in nature, and therefore bound by its own inherent limitedness in scope? It may imagine itself to be whole, but clearly the partial can never be the whole. To think one is whole, or one's indoctrinated idea that one clings to for security creates wholeness, is the human delusion which creates hell on earth. That is the satanic delusion from which civilized mankind suffers. A spiritual man, a Christ, a simple man of truth, is a balanced man or woman. He uses the intellect for mechanical problem solving and language-based communications, but for all else in life, which is the infinite, he or she resonates in direct perception, is at one with what is, the truth, via his God-given gift of divine awareness, the divine spirit of infinite intelligence, which is the boundless subconscious that takes in everything as vibration, has no barriers, is beyond time and space, and exists in the eternal moment of now, prior to creative manipulation into directing thoughts, which are thus subject to misunderstanding through satanic intervention and manipulative conditioning. Intelligence is not the cleverness of manipulating images for some ego-based motive. That is what is revered by the ignorant, the stupid, the sheeple. It is the infiniteness of God itself operating through us at the subconscious level prior to the satanic intellectual filter which creates havoc, violence, opposition, and self-destructiveness into human consciousness through habitual, rote-based, ritualistic behavior based in belief systems. Nigel, have I not just identified civilized mankind? Nigel, the purpose of life is to free oneself of the satanic chains which bind one through imaginary beliefs, and return to direct perception of truth, resonating within one's life, and not carry with them the satanic luggage which traps one into the gross state of intellectualism and materialism, which is human society itself. Few understand me. They don't know what to make of me. They fear me, for they perceive me to pose a threat to their security of belief. They attack. They ridicule. They hate. And then they retreat into silence. Their usual attacks don't work, for they don't have a basis for hate in a realm where hate does not exist. The vast majority remain stone silent, for they cannot fathom such simplicity to be the answer to their every problem. I do not preach. I merely expose the barriers to truth and love. You can see the hell that I raise by doing so. The world, as we know it, is a satanic-ruled, bass-ackward world of conflict, exploitation, and division, while its civilized participants drown themselves in positive imagery to cover up who they have become, having lost sight of who and what they truly are. What I speak of is not for everyone, as my latest experiences with the idiots of Roseland area of South Chicago will attest to. There are few people amongst us who are truly free and loving. That is, they are immersed in truth and share it with all. Whether that freedom and love is discerned is not the concern of truth and love itself, but of those who truly have the intention to break the hypnotic spell of their own satanic conditioning. Nigel, I consider you to be one who is teetering on the brink of intellectualism and divine awareness, and facing that which is beyond the scope of intellect. I perceive Arthur Christian and his wife Fiona to be another. Many people are touched by their works, and yet the world remains the same. People don't question that because they are on a circular, not-so-merry-go-round that promises change in hell, but it never seems to change, and the satanic carousel continues to turn. I have no desire to change people. They are what they are. I merely speak truth, because I am truth, and allow the devil to take the hindmost. They don't realize the gift that true love is. Some may consider me to be a fraud, for by their indoctrinations, Christs aren't supposed to dispense pain to those who hide behind illusions of positive imagery while they seethe inside. To them, a Christ is supposed to unconditionally pander to them, to praise them, to laud their accomplishments, which they do not see to be satanic in nature, and is draining their life force away with each breath and step taken. In that sense, Nigel, I am indeed a tough Christ. For truth and love is whole, and does not, will not, cannot pander to the fragment, the unwhole, the unholy, the gussied up, profane intellect. Now, let's see who gets this message.